Welcome back, you lovely people, to another video. And after that dramatic introduction, you can see there was some last lap shenanigans in this race. So, grab a beverage of choice, sit back, relax, and we'll see how we got there. So we're about to go green any second now. We qualified in P12 for this race. Strength of field is just under 2.4k, so we've got our work cut out for us in this race. Lights go green. We get off to a decent start. We have nobody on our right side. They for some reason did not grid, so we've got a bit of space around us. We do a double check here just to make sure that we are correct, that there is nobody alongside us, and we're going to kind of cover off the inside for any lunges or any kind of dive bombs. So going up the hill, we're going to be looking at potentially getting some moves done early if we can to try and progress up the field. We qualified P12. So strength of field was quite good, and this is Watkins Glen, so we raced here recently in the Porsche Cup, so we have a little bit of an idea of how to race around this track. So it's a slightly longer boot version, so we're going to see if that makes any difference. The car on our left side coming into the bus stop, so we kind of back out of it a little bit. It compromises our exit, allowing the yellow car to come alongside us in this long right-hander. He's now going to have the inside line.
Stay on the right.
For the left-hander coming up, if he's able to hold it around the outside, which he is. He squeezes us, we keep it nice and clean, pinch him back towards the apex, trying to get a straighter line out of the corner and keep him pinned on the left side as best we can. We do run the car a little wide, so we have the right side or the inside line for this right-hander going up the hill. That allows us to get the position back, so nice back and forth there, and I think it was just the natural progress and twists and turns of the track that allowed us to keep the position there. He thinks about a move here. He is on our inside. I brake a little early, try to give him a little bit of space here, avoiding the apex. Going to run the car a little wide. I'm not too worried right now because I'll have again the inside line for the left-hander. So he's giving me plenty of room on the apex. Nice clean racing overall. Give him plenty of room on the outside as he's alongside us. But he does get the move done. He did a really good job there of holding it around the outside, and he gets past us. We lose a position off the start. Not ideal, but it's okay. He goes a little wide here, and there's an incident ahead, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that one. We're right on the back of him coming down the start-finish straight, and we're going to be thinking about a move into turn 1. We get the slipstream, pull out as late as we dare. We're on the inside now for turn 1, brake, turn in for the apex, give him plenty of room on the outside. We get a nice little run up the hill, a little better exit than he did. He was probably trying to avoid the off-track there, which is very easy to do. He's now under pressure from the car behind. Coming up the hill, there's an incident ahead. We're going to see a couple of cars collided, car spinning on the right side. I go between the two of them, and we just about keep ahead of the yellow car. But we're under pressure, so we're going to try and come into the bus stop fast and as steady as we can. Very easy to lose the car here going over the curbs. To maximize your lap time, you have to go over those curbs and try and basically keep the bus stop as straight as possible. The problem with that though is you're flirting with danger every time you go over the curbs, because it's very easy to lose the car. This section of track we are gaining a little bit of time from the car behind, so we're gaining a little bit of a gap. He was a little slower through that left-hander, which allows us to get a bit of breathing room behind us. We've been caught in this kind of no man's land after the first lap, where we have a little bit of a gap right now to the car behind and a little bit of a gap to the car in front. So we're going to be trying to get back onto the back of the pack in front, as we kind of did with the Porsche Cup race, where when we lost time, we got the Constantina effect of the group in front. We were able to catch up to them. You can see here this kind of old Williams style car. He ran a little wide there, and we were able to catch up towards him. So now he's going to be our target as best we can. Coming around onto the last lap now, you're going to see that there's a group ahead. They're battling and fighting. This camel livery car kind of held us up in the apex there. He was going into the pit lane, so he must have had some sort of damage, maybe a jump start penalty, I'm not sure, but it kind of held us up a little bit going through there. Coming into turn number 1, trying to maximize our speed through that corner, trying to avoid the off track on the exit, but then also trying to keep the speed up the hill as best we can. Now we can breathe. We've got space around us. We can just start concentrating on our braking points, getting the lap times to come down. Tires should be warming up, and we should be settling into a rhythm now. We're currently P8, so we've gained a few positions just by the nature of the first couple of laps. We've got another car spinning in front in the bus stop. That's what I was mentioning by you have to be careful with the curbs. So I'm not sure if that was one or two cars, but we've gained a position possibly 2 there. So we're going to be looking at possibly getting a P5 here. 3 laps in, looking at P5 after starting P12. So a very good start, I would say. Something I would definitely, if you said to me after 3 laps at the start of this race, you would be up to kind of battling for you being P6 and you potentially have an opportunity to close a gap up to the cars in front, and I would say, hell yeah, give me that any day of the week. However, that's not always materializing, and we run a little wide here. We missed the apex, and now we've got the group behind us coming up to us again. This yellow car, he was definitely faster in areas than I was, and I was faster than he was in areas, so it kind of netted out to be, maybe he was a little bit faster overall at times in the race, but it kind of netted out and we can kind of maintain the gap, so to speak. Coming through the last corner, a corner I actually quite like. You just barely dab the brakes just to be able to get the car to turn. Maybe drop a gear if you need to down to 4th gear, but you get some really good turn-ins in here. We're doing 149.2, our fastest lap of the race so far, but we can definitely do better than that. So that's what we're going to be aiming for.
I don't know what you're expecting there. Look, turned in on me.
A couple of people on the voice chat already, but they don't seem as salty as the people were in the Porsche Cup race, so that's a better start. 4 laps now, starting lap number 4. This is going to be approximately, I think it's a 10 or 11 lap race, just because the timings, we're doing just under, I think 148s, 149s is what kind of lap times we were doing. There were some fast people in here, they were doing 147s. I could not keep up with them. They were just beasts. Strength of field, as I said, was about 2.4k, just a little under, so we've got some pretty fast people in here as well. But you can be fast, but you got to be consistent and you got to avoid mistakes, and that's what has awarded us a P6 position right now. We can see the cars up ahead, so we're not out of this yet. We can potentially catch up to the back of them and we can potentially be fighting for a better position. Trying to keep the speed up though, and trying to make sure that the cars behind don't catch up to us. The gap, it fluctuates a little here and there. The yellow car, as I mentioned, is faster in some areas, and I'm faster than the yellow car behind in other areas. So just a few little back and forth. So we're going to keep an eye on our mirrors every so often just to make sure the gap isn't becoming a little bit too close for comfort. So, end of lap 4. It's all been a bit chaotic in one respect, but also very calm and very easy in another aspect. So yeah, coming around onto the start finish straight here now again to start lap number 5. Not quite halfway through this lap or race, but we're settling in quite nicely. You can see it did 148.5 there, so that's a nice faster lap time than the previous one, about 3/4 of a second, give or take, faster than the last lap time. And you can see that has resulted a little bit in the gap behind us increasing. Very good. That's what I want to try and maintain. That's the kind of pace I want to keep going, and I want to get faster and faster. Funnily enough, that was my fastest lap time around this track in practice, and all the practice I've been doing this week. I could not break into the 148s at all. My fastest lap was 149, pretty much dead, and I was really frustrating. I just could not get into the 48s. Different session, different state of track, different temperatures. Maybe that contributed to it being half a second faster. Most definitely would affect me, but it also could be a case that I was just being a bit more aggressive and a bit, maybe not necessarily aggressive is the right word, but a bit smoother, a bit more calculated. Sometimes you can get caught in a trap in practice sessions where you push too hard, consistently trying to gain lap time after lap time, and you make silly mistake after silly mistake and you just lose time. Sometimes you find in a race that when you're just concentrating on hitting apexes and hitting your braking points and not messing up or running off track, then sometimes you just gain time because you're just smoother overall and the car is reacting better to your inputs, and sometimes that can happen. But anyway, lap 5 is coming to a close shortly, and we have been gaining time to the car behind. As you can see, there's a group behind us, so we would rather not get caught in their battle. Car in P20 just did a 147.8. That's a very, very fast lap time. I'm going to come across the line here, and we do a 148.4. Now again, another fastest lap time, but only a 10th faster than the previous lap. But we run a little wide here, not enough to pick up an off track, so we're lucky there. Very easy to get an off track in that section. You may notice as we're going around this track, there's certain areas where you can run wide past the white line, past the curbs, and you don't get an off track. Turn 1, you're 100% going to get an off track even if you stay 4 wheels on that curb. There's a certain point where you will get a full off track. So another car spins up ahead. We're going to gain another position here. So that jumps us up into P5 right now. So we're definitely on for a P5 finish if we can hold off the cars behind. As long as we can hold off the cars behind, we should be in for a P5. And if anything happens up ahead with the cars in front, you can see there's about 3 or 4 cars up ahead that are kind of still pretty close. And if anything happens with one of them, somebody makes a mistake, spins out, somebody misses a apex and suddenly has a car behind, there could be contact, there could be anything. So while we might not have the pace necessary to be catching the cars in front, there's still potential to gain positions towards the end of this race. You saw we were 6 laps in and a car spun out and hit the wall, so it's very possible that we could gain more positions. So we're up to P5 now, coming up to finish lap number 6. The gap behind was increasing ever so slightly, and that's kind of what I would like to see. It's very nice to have this kind of open air, be able to concentrate on my lines and my braking points and just drive in the car. You don't always get that when you're racing. Sometimes you can get stuck behind a car that's slower, and sometimes you can be trying to fend off someone that's right up, let's say, on the back bumper of your car, and that slows you down. So I would rather be in this position than have a car right behind me and I'd be looking in my mirrors constantly. It allows me to just get a move on and keep the lap times falling. So starting lap number 7, we can just about see a car up ahead, trying to bring that gap down and trying to increase the gap to the car behind. But it seems I didn't get the greatest run out of turn 1 there, and you can see just on the external view we might be losing time to the cars behind. Coming through the bus stop, I wasn't taking as much curb, and I think that kind of carried through. I was looking at the P5 position and thinking a little bit wrongly to an extent, thinking, don't go over those curbs too aggressively and spin the car out. And I was a bit fearful at this point in the race of those curbs especially. And as you can see, that's now allowing the cars behind to slowly catch me up, and I'm starting to notice the cars in my mirrors getting bigger and bigger. I can definitely see the car in front, but I'm also noticing the cars behind getting a little bit bigger. So I'm trying to concentrate, I'm trying to keep my, let's say, my mental fortitude and just concentrate on the car in front and not so much on the car behind. See, this is the corner I was talking about where you can run wide and not get a 1x, but just trying to keep the mental fortitude there. It's not quite there coming through that left-hander where we start missing apexes. So pressure is starting to build a little as we're coming around to finish lap number 7. Only a few more laps to go. You can see the yellow car behind is just flying. He's going off track, trying to catch up. He is definitely pushing, and we're kind of in a groove. So we're doing 1:48.4, still pretty decent lap time, but he was definitely pushing hard at this stage in the race. I think this was the point where I got my one and only 1x. Oh, sorry, I'm mistaken. It wasn't a one and only 1x. I didn't get anything there. So, but lap number 8, coming up the hill, coming up to the bus stop again. We're just about seeing the car in front again, but we're starting to look more and more in our mirrors. You can see the gap is now closing and closing, and the yellow car is starting to pull away from the group behind, and he's starting to catch us. So suddenly coming through this bus stop, I can see him. He should notice that I'm slower through the bus stop there, and he's right up behind us. It's going to be a close one. He's starting to catch us. He started to put down the speed. All of a sudden he just gained lap time, and now I'm thinking to myself, am I going too slow, or is he just gaining on me? And I'm thinking a little bit he's just gaining on me, because I saw there's a bigger gap between him and the car behind when there was a small gap between the two at the time. Ultimately, it's kind of, I'm going to put up a fight. I'm not going to allow him just to get past me, but how much of a fight will I put up? I would rather lose 1 spot than lose 3. I think pretty much everyone would. So if he's going to send a lunge up, I'm not going to fight it too much, but if he's a little tentative or if he's not committed enough, then I'm going to make it hard for him. running side by side is not always the best, because then that allows the 2 cars behind him to catch up to the group of us, but he's definitely catching up to us, and even the group behind is catching up, so I'm going slow here a little bit. Probably not quite on my lap times as I would normally like to be. I've probably started easing off and trying to bring the car home a little bit too early. 1:48.5 is still a good lap time, but it's not my fastest. I think 1:48.4 is my fastest, but we're under pressure now. The yellow car is behind. He's definitely gaining. He's got a good run out of the first corner. Coming up the hill, he's going to have slipstream. So I'm looking in my mirror now and I'm thinking, okay, I've got to go defensive. I've got to make sure he doesn't go into the bus stop, because I noticed in the last lap he was faster than I was. So I'm going defensive. I'm keeping a hard right. I'm watching my mirror, seeing what he does. He goes far left, so I'm starting to open the corner up a bit more. Brake his laser there, coming through the bus stop, and then we have contact. I was concentrating so much on my exit, I didn't see what happened. We're going to cut to the external view in a second so you can see what happened yourselves, and we'll have a talk about it. So the external view, you can see he is coming in from the far left. He goes better over the curbs, but I don't know what he was expecting me to do. He hits a car on the exit too, but I don't know what he was expecting there. He got a much better run out of the corner, but I don't know what he was expecting me to do. I couldn't just disappear. I was turning for the corner and I was accelerating, so I don't know what he was expecting me to do. Very unfortunate. There was potential for a P5. That's cost us positions. I don't know exactly where we are right now because my relative is all over the place thanks to that accident. But the spotter said we've damage, and we've rear wing damage, and I can feel the car being loose, and I'm very, very worried about spinning the car out now, and I just want to bring it home. It's half a lap. Can I bring it home for half a lap? Especially without losing positions. This is a corner where it's very easy to spin the car on entry, and especially so when you've damage. 2 corners to go, there's a group of cars behind. Can I bring it home? Whatever position this is going to be, I have no idea at this stage in the race. So we're going to come around now, the last corner. Just about have enough breathing room. Don't mess it up. Don't spin the car. We keep it together. We're going to come across the line, and we're going to have to go to the results to see where we ended up.
Car stopped on the right.
Great call now.
So as we're cooling down, I'm going to reserve judgment for the replay. I was a little annoyed, well, a little more than annoyed when that happened, but I was reserving my anger, so to speak, for the replay. Once I review the replay, I don't know what I could have done. If you have any comments on what I could have done differently, leave them down below. I'd love to hear that. But is it 100% his fault? I kind of think so, but you guys tell me what you guys think of that incident and what happened. Let me know down below. So looking at the results, it was a P8. I will take a P8, but I'm very, very annoyed that it wasn't a P5. It is what it is. We move on, we go on to the next race. Looking on the bright side, it was a positive gain on iRating. We're back above 2K, so yes, goal achieved. Moving on to the next goal for the rest of the season and next season. So back above 2K. Our safety rating changed a tiny bit from that incident, but not so much that we're not going to maintain our promotion at the end of the season. Anyway, if you like the video, guys, give it a like. If you have any comments or suggestions, or even just want to chime in on whose fault that accident was, leave a comment down below. If you want to see more races like this, or Porsche Cup races, or Ferrari, or more iRacing races and shorts, click the subscribe button. Love to have you join us, and love to see you in the next video.